So I'm glad the main topic of this episode was about how our main male character doesn't want to rely on Seimei to be able to activate his armor. Because this is something I have thought about on the first and second episode, and I didn't think much into it, but I did think about it. I thought about, like, if our character got in a situation where horrors, surrounded him, and he couldn't, like, activate his armor, and Seimei wasn't there, what the fuck's gonna happen to him? He's gonna get killed, of course. So, I thought about this before, and to see how this is being displayed in this episode as the main topic, I'm liking that. Now, even though it wasn't really settled, at the end of the day of this episode, it wasn't really settled. It was still shelved and wasn't handled and it wasn't concluded. Still, it was mentioned, and for it to be mentioned, I have to give props to the series for at the very least mentioning that so soon, because that feels like a very bad problem to have. I mean, there's going to be a time, even though Seimei said what she said at the end of the episode, like, I will always be around you, there for you to activate your armor, that's a load of bullshit. Because there's going to be sometimes in the future, because you can never predict everything, there might be a situation where you're separated, something bad happens. I mean, what if someone grabs you in the middle of the night, drags you off, and then poor main male character, he's by himself surrounded by horrors, he can't do nothing. He's dead. So, I mean, there's going to be a time in the future to where he's probably going to be in a situation to where he can't fight back. He's going to have these high-level horrors all around him. He's not going to be able to fight because he does have his golden armor. Seimei's not going to be around, and I feel like something's going to happen. I feel like there's going to be something that happens to where he might be able to unlock his armor, break through the seal, or something else might happen. Because if she does not unlock that seal and keep it unlocked, then something bad is bound to happen in the future. Now, besides that, we have political disputes going on. For instance, people that want to get in certain positions or higher up in power. You have it to where they're having their disputes, and you have it to where these objects were cursed to kill this said person, which at the end of the day, we found out that it wasn't going to be used for that. It was mainly just used to open up a gate to Makai to have it to where horrors can just, flood in and show that this palace that they think is the best palace and no horrors can enter, well, it's not as safe as they think it is. It could be entered at any time, and these portals to Makai can open up at any time in the world. So yeah, I mean, episode, it felt rather slow to me, but I mean, that's how Garo Season 1 was. I remember when I first started Garo, it was a very slow start, and it had this slow, gradual build-up, and it did have its, Monster of the Week formula for the first half of it. I remember Garo Season 1 having that, so I can already see how this series is starting to build up into that type of formula, and then probably going to venture on into the plot, the main plot with what is going on. Actually, if I have to say, we're already getting hints at the main plot before anything goes down already, because, I mean, we have it to where this one dude that says, like, I'm the darkness or whatever, he just walks off, disappears and stuff. He's already being introduced to our characters as the villain, and for him to be introduced so early, we already have our villain, we already see our villain, we don't really know his complete motive yet. That's one thing we need to find out more about, but we already have our villain introduced. We already kind of know he's trying to open up gates and prove to these people that, these gates can be opened up at any time for horrors to flood in, and then you also have it to where they're set up for a possibility in the future for a main male character to be in a situation to where he can't activate his armor. So, I mean, this episode was a good episode for setup for the future, but besides that, there wasn't really much else to talk about. So, Garo, this week, it was okay. It was a, average episode of Garo. Nothing spectacular, nothing like, oh my fucking god, this is amazing. It was nothing like that, but it was nothing to where I would say, like, it was bad. I mean, it's just average. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.